Happy Saturday, everyone. I've been asked by a few of you to make this recording, so here we are. Inviting made easy is not just about inviting, it's about filling your pipeline, follow up, handling objections, having a positive attitude, and goal crushing and setting. So, the reason I'm qualified to talk about this subject is I've had over 30 sponsored members, 188 qualified visitors in the last 5 years of BNI. So let's get jazzed up about inviting visitors because it's all about getting freaking jazzed up. And when you feel the power of a great network, it's just nothing better, right? Your network determines your net worth. Everybody knows that. It's powerful. Building a powerful network is everything. Taking massive actions and combining that with thinking big and then belief, right? That's what you need, all right? To create success for yourself in BNI and in business. Fill in your pipeline. Look at this freaking guy, will you? He's jacked up. He's standing in the middle of his pipeline in awe about how big his pipeline is being full. How many times have you invited a visitor, like, man, my visitor didn't show up? If you had 100 freaking visitors coming to your chapter that week, you'd be happy your visitor didn't show up because you might be able to end on time, right? That's what we're talking about. Filling your pipeline was so big that when your client meeting cancels on you, you're like, yes, thank you, right? You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. It really is about helping people. You already have a great sales team out there looking for sales for you, for referrals for you. And you have a great network, a business network, right? That teaches you about business and sales training and BNI University and all these different platforms and people to meet and leadership. And you learn about all these things that these other people in business don't have. Did you know that 25 out of 31.5 million businesses on this planet are solo entrepreneurs? So having this network is a great idea for them. So you're doing them a favor. You're helping them. Keep that in mind when you invite. They're not helping you by coming. All right? BNI, sell or be sold. You got to be sold on your own products and services. You got to be sold on your own chapter to the degree that you're sold on yourself, in your self-worth, in your chapter worth, is to the degree that you can sell. All right? Exercise. Write down all the reasons why your product and service is better than your competition. Write down all the reasons why BNI has been doing good for your business and the community. Write down massive reasons. I'm talking about hundreds. There's so many reasons BNI is a benefit to your business and to the community and to the world. 73 countries, 276,000 members, 10,500 chapters, 56,000 closed business average per member, per member, right? How many communities is that? 10,500 communities being helped by BNI. Look, life is 10% of what happened to you and 90% how you react to it. Have a great attitude when you call people. This will make you $1 million in your lifetime. Having a massive, positive, great attitude, the best attitude, no matter what hits you. Boom. If life's beating you to death, right? Learn from it. Don't ask for less problems, ask for more skills, right? That's what Jim Rohn says. Don't ask for less problems, ask for more skills, right? You're not a tree. You can change the direction of your life anytime you want. And like a ship, right? Your brain is like a ship, okay? In the ocean, just going. The water only comes in the ship if the ship allows it to. If there's holes in the ship, if the ship gets overtaken by the wind. In the same way, your brain only allows messages to come in that you allow those messages to come in. So when that negativity hits you in the head, right? Deflect it. Keep it away from you. Cut it out. Cut out the negativity. Be positive, be super positive, super jazzed up, super energetic all the time. Because that's what's going to create success for you. Ultimately, people will be like, wow, what is this person? on right now. That's the kind of energy you want and positive attitude. The most successful members are typically in the most balanced contact spheres. Inviting isn't actually about increasing the size of your chapter. It's more so about increasing the retention in your chapter. If 60% of business comes from your contact sphere and you only have one chiropractor or one massage therapist or just an electrician as a plumber or just one marketing person, they're not getting the business that you're getting if you're in a sphere of 10 or 15 people, right? So equal opportunity. We really want to have balanced contact spheres to create the retention that we say we desire in the chapter. And this is a great list of the top 48 thriving members in BNI, right? Due to their data, the most closed business, the highest retention. These are the 48. You can find this on BNI University. All right, the inviting process, super important. The first step to the inviting process is energy, right? Energy. Just freaking get jacked up all the time. Create that energy, right? Electricity, and keep moving. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people say to me, you know, you need sleep, you need rest, you need this. Man, I need energy. All right. And some people tell me, you're going to get burnt out. I'm not a candle. I'm not a wax. It's impossible for me to get burnt out. Your body is generating energy constant. Energy is constant. Just think in terms of being constantly energetic, especially when you're inviting. Chapter education units, super important. Educate. The root word of educate comes from the word idoche, which means to bring out your latent potential. So the potential that's already within inside of you, you're bringing out, right? The chapters that educate themselves the most are the ones that have the most growth. Okay? Out of the whole power of one, education matters most to growth than any part else, including inviting visitors. It's amazing. Set a massive goal. Forget about this SMART goal stuff that you've been taught, okay? Specific, realistic, measurable, attainable, time bound, all that stuff. It's a great foundation, don't get me wrong, but just times it by 10, all right? Because the reality of it is, if it's realistic, it doesn't get you, listen, ordinary ain't getting anyone jacked up, all right? You want to set a goal so freaking high that it makes you jump out of bed in the morning, okay? When I first got in a leadership meeting, the very first time, I never had a visitor in the chapter in my life. And they said, what's your goal, sir, for visitors? And I said, 80 visitors. And they're like, huh? Can we set something realistic? I said, 80 is realistic to me. Just because you gave up on yourself doesn't mean I'm going to give up on myself. I'm going to get 80 freaking visitors this year, okay? I had never had a visitor in my life. So set a goal so massive that it pulls you towards creating that goal. I had 81 visitors in my chapter that year, all right? If I had settled for 8, right, which is what I thought was realistic, then I wouldn't have created my own potential. I wouldn't have hit my potential, maximum potential, right? Set a time to make the call. Monday, 3 p.m., 15 minutes every week. Just like you do your one-to-ones and your CEUs and, all that stuff in the meeting, chapter meeting. 15 minutes a week. If you have a visitor's day, 30 minutes. 15 minutes to the visitor's day and 15 minutes to every week. Every week's visitor's day, okay? But that's a whole nother subject. Prepare the list of people to invite, all right? Don't be getting all crazy writing lists, all right? The call reluctance lists that you write. You're like, man, I'm going to write a few names. Let me write a few more. Now I got to use the bathroom. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee. I'm going to write a few more names. And then you never make the call. Prepare the list of people to invite. Use the inviting scripts. Make the call. Make the call. Email introductions, super important. If you can email introduce your visitor to a chapter member, right? Like the 2 presenters, if you're inviting to the presentation. Hey, I just want to quickly introduce my visitor to you guys. You edify your referral partners, and on top of that, you edify the visitor and allow that accountability factor to kick in, right? Because now, if you do it to the 2 presenters and the president, right? That's 4 people. You, the president, and the 2 presenters, unless you're the presenters or the president. holding this person accountable to come. That'll create some retention in numbers. Of course, if you have 100 visitors next week, you're not going to be able to do that. Personal phone call to follow up. A couple days beforehand, have a great attitude when you call them to follow up. Hey, it's Tuesday before the Thursday meeting. Just say, hey, this is Anthony McWinney. I invited you to my networking event. We talked about plumbers being one of our top hot seats. And who's the plumber that you're going to bring with you? Who are you going to bring with you? Are you going to bring someone with you? Don't ask them if they're coming. They're already coming. You should assume that they're already coming. They've already said yes. They've already committed to yes. Assume they're coming. When we ask them if they're coming, we allow that negativity in there and allow them the opportunity to say no. Instead, we're asking them who they bring in with them. I hope that makes sense. Thank you. All right. Send out cards is a great opportunity. Let me know if you want to be connected to someone. Send them a thank you card after the meeting. All right. Send them whatever you want after the meeting. Send them a freaking pizza. All right. Follow up. Thank these people. You send them a freaking pizza. We'll talk more about that later. It's all in the delivery. Well, it's all in the delivery. See how this makes sense? It's all connected. It's all in the delivery. When you're inviting people, I always try to get people recommended to me, and I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. But I always say, you came highly recommended by, hey, my name is Anthony. You came highly recommended by Jane Doe. Oh, Jane Doe, I love Jane Doe. Allow for a pause, allow them to respond. How can I help you? Well, actually, I'm part of a referral network group. We meet regularly in West Concord. We're all about business and passing referrals. We're interviewing plumbers right now to find the best plumber in the area to give all of our business to, and I thought you would make a good candidate. Entrepreneurs hate not being picked, right? This is a podcast by Ivan Misner. I learned the script from. It's called Interviewing. Look it up. Who's got my money? Think about, I heard this from Dennis Childs, he's a business coach out here in Massachusetts. But think about who's got my money? Who's the one, this is the key to success of B&I. What's the one professional that meets my client before I do? Think about how drastically your membership can change if you invite with that mentality. And imagine 10 or 15 people coming in the room that meet your client before you do. But start with one. Who's the one profession? What is the one profession that meets my clients before I do? And bring them into the chapter. And you can definitely bring them into your presentation. Always invite to the speaker. It allows for opportunities. It allows the visitors to see benefits in B&I. The people in their contact sphere can make it. And it allows their contact sphere to be edified, right? And the referral partner. So if they never join, they still bring in money to the chapter. Your average visitor brings in $2,000 to the chapter, right? Without even joining. Inviting tip number 1A, social media. Nextdoor, Facebook, specific sites in Facebook. We have the Concord Trades website. You got some health and wellness. There's mom sites on Nextdoor. It's an app that connects you with neighbors, all your neighbors. And it's such a great app because you can go on there looking for recommendations. I'm looking for a landscaper. Take your top 5 or top 10 list of your chapter. I'm looking for a landscaper. And you're going to get a lot of recommendations, probably 6 to 8. Some of them might even be multiple. 2 people recommended the same company. So how powerful is that when you call them? You were recommended me by multiple people, including so-and-so. Alignable is a small business referral network. I mean, this is filling your pipeline. We're talking about spreading that out, right? Because the reality of it is, this small business referral network has sponsored more members for me than all these other activities combined. Hop on Alignable, invite your friends, get connected, pay for the membership. It's worth it. Local businesses. If I'm looking for a painter in my chapter, right, which I was at one time, there was a painter registered. I wanted to create a little bit of competition. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have 5 painters in the room next week. I went to the local paint stores like Sherman-Williams or Benjamin Moore and said, who's the painter you recommend? Right? If you're looking for a massage therapist, go to your chiropractor's office. Who's the massage therapist you recommend? Go to the florist, ask him for the limo driver. All right? Go to the barbershop, ask him for someone. An electrician, a plumber. okay? The places you frequent a lot, like the coffee shops. Hey, do you know an electrician that comes in here often that you would recommend? Think outside the box here when you're inviting people. Who do you know? Who do you recommend? That's B&I, right? Everyday people. I was in a chapter in Hudson. We went out pizza for lunch. I have this thing about pizza today. We went out to pizza for lunch. And she's like, how do you bring in so many visitors? And I'm like, listen, we'll just ask the next person I see. I mean, this is just filling a pipeline. What do you care, right? Just start inviting people. So we walk outside. I happen to notice, I happen to know the next person who was walking by. I was like, hey, Christian, what's up, bro? How you doing? I was like, look like you got a fresh tat. He's like, yeah, I got a fresh tattoo, man. It looks great. I'm like, yeah, man, who did that for you? Did they do a great job for you? Can you recommend them? And then he recommended Concord Tattoo Studio to me, right? If you see a dog and you pet the dog and you're like, wow, this dog is so friendly, so nice. Did you get him trained? Who's the trainer? Did you get, it feel so, his coat is so nice. Who's the groomer that you use? Which vet do you go to? I don't even care, man. There's just so many freaking things that you can ask people. You're at the barbershop and the daughter, I was at the barbershop and her daughter had her nails just done. And I was like, who's the manicurist that you used? All right. Your checkbook. Just go to your checkbook, follow your checkbook. Who do you write checks to? Who's the contractor you had in your home that you wrote the check to, right? Anybody, just look at your bank statement for the last year. Who have you given business to? Invite them if they did a good job, right? Why not? You're increasing their business and they might even owe you a little bit of something. They might come. Who's on the check itself? What bank is on the check? Invite them, all right? Before I hang up, technique. You know, as a mover, I always say, before I hang up, who's the electrician you use? Who's the plumber you use? Who's the handyman you use? Who's the painter you use? All right. One lady said, I got to go to an appointment and I'm going to get my nails done. I said, great. Who's the manicurist you use? And she said, are you looking to get your nails done? And I said, no, my wife loves getting her nails done. And I know 30 other business professionals right now looking to pass business to a manicurist. And she's like, let me give you a couple then. She gave me a few names for manicurists. I was able to invite to the chapter, one of them busy, right? Before I hang up technique, use this every time before you hang up, write it in your scripts. Other networking events, chamber events, Rotary clubs, a freaking holiday party. Who cares? Have a goal before you go to any place you go to, an intention. What's your intention? I'm going to meet 3 people of this business profession, or I'm going to meet 3 people that's going to introduce me to this business profession. All right. I'm looking for an interior designer for a chapter. I'm going to go find an architect at a chamber. All right. If I'm looking for a real estate attorney, I might find a realtor at a chamber. Or if I'm looking for a house cleaner, I might find a realtor at a chamber. Okay. These other networking events are super powerful. I might not invite those members themselves. I might invite the people they know. If I'm looking for a CPA, I'm going to find a financial advisor in a networking event and say, who's the CPA that you use? I may ultimately invite that financial advisor, but I'm just talking about adding people to the network that are highly qualified, that are recommended to me first. After a couple one-to-ones with that financial advisor, I'm comfortable, I'll invite them to the chapter. We've got endless possibilities here. Association websites, Better Business Bureau, National Association for Professional Organizers, Massachusetts Mass Movers Association, National Association for whatever, and Massachusetts Association for anything you want, and Florida Association, whatever. There's association websites for every single profession. All right. These people are highly qualified. They went through the steps to be accredited. Okay. They're qualified in business. They were approved. They paid for it. They're qualified for B&I to at least visit and be interviewed. Follow-up. It's all in the follow-up, right? 2% of all sales are made in the first contact. 3% of all sales are made on the second contact. 5% of all sales are made on the third contact. 80% of all sales are made between the 5th and 12th contact. So people who think I'm a maniac because I don't stop at 5 and I go all the way to 12 and sometimes 37. All right. And I may be a maniac. That's not the point. This is one of the follow-up techniques that we have at Big Hill Movers. Is the only pieces missing from your move all right? And you take 2 pieces out and have it delivered, okay? Just think creatively, be bold. It's the only thing that stands out, right? This is marketing, branding, follow-up. I'm telling you, follow-up, the definition is to see something all the way through to the end. So if you call someone, hey, this is Anthony McWhinney, and you don't close them, you didn't follow up. Okay? I was at follow-up number 36 with a client once, and I sent them a big, giant chocolate boot by a chocolatier saying, Big Hill Movers is trying to get my foot back in the door. All right? And my wife's like, when are you going to leave these people alone, these poor people? And I said, baby, I'm committed, baby. That's why you married me. All right? I will stop following up with them when I die or when they die. That's commitment. Okay? That's what we're talking about when we say follow up. 37, I closed the deal. $50,000 deal closed at number 37. All right? If I had listened, I would have stopped and maybe not gotten the deal. But number 37, boom, scratch ticket, $30 scratch ticket I sent them. So if you win $1 million, all I want is the opportunity to serve you. Send someone chocolate cup of strawberries from Edible Arrangement and say, it'd be sweet as strawberries if I had the opportunity to serve you. Look, the list goes on forever. Send a visitor a milk carton, missing, put their picture, reward, B&I opportunity. All right. The list goes on. I once sent a prepaid cell phone to a client because they weren't answering my phone calls. They weren't answering my texts. They weren't answering my selfie videos. They weren't answering my GIFs. They weren't answering my Facebook messages. They weren't answering my LinkedIn profile. I'm like, all right, I'm going to send them a phone. You know what? Can I say something real quick? I guess I can because I got the platform. What I'm saying to you is, all right, everyone else gave up on them. Your competition gave up on them too. I promise. So if you're still there, in the end, they'll remember you. All right, that you didn't give up on them. And I believe in people. I believe that they want my services. I'm sold on my idea. I'm sold on my services. And I'm sold that I'm the best option for them. All right. Ain't nobody better than you. Remember that with the follow-up. Always follow up. Hit 5, hit 12, and you'll get 80% of all your closes. All right. Did you know that 65% of people, okay, there's so many stats on this, but your average lead that hits your website takes 6 days to respond. I'm texting you when you're on my website. Look, if you want help with this stuff, hit me up. I know a good guy that will get you some leads on your website. He's a website maniac. His name is Joseph Poria. He's from Massachusetts. He's a digital marketing beast. All right. I wouldn't have him doing my marketing if he wasn't a freaking savage. That's what we're looking for when we're looking to brand. All right. Overflow technique. Hey, who's the overflow? Who's the overflow that you recommend? Right. One time I asked an attorney, all right, real estate attorney. I was like, hey, I need you to come visit my chapter, you know, with that whole script thing. And she's like, hey man, I'm kind of busy. And I'm like, look, I understand you're busy. I know you're busy. Right. And that's exactly why you should network. Yeah. So she visited. She was too busy for B&I when she visited. She did visit. And then I asked her when she was visiting, when I was doing visitor orientation, who does she send her overflow work to if she's so busy? And she said, Jim Clancy. He's now a member of my chapter because I asked this, handle this objection. All right. It's all about handling objection. Contract is a contract, right? Agreement creates agreement. If you learn anything from this, never disagree with your buyer, never disagree with a visitor, okay? Always, always, always agree. Agreement creates agreement. Disagreement creates disagreement, all right? This is not manipulation, okay? This is seeing it from their point of view. If you say it's black and they say it's white, is it possible that if life is perspective, that it's black and white? Perhaps. I don't know. You tell me. I'll agree with you. I'm saying, my wife says to me, I want to go see a romantic movie. And I say, oh man, I don't want to go see a romantic movie. How do you think that night's going to go? If I say, honey, I'd love to go hit a movie with you. Can we hit the Italian restaurant on the way by? Yeah, of course. And then I drive by the bowling alley. I have an opportunity to close after agreement, right? I'm like, man, we haven't been bowling in a while. We should do that next time. She's like, why don't we just go bowling tonight? Right? Agreement creates agreement. I'm telling you, client says, I got to think about it. Absolutely, sir. I always think about big decisions like this. Thought is instantaneous. If I told you to think of an elephant, would you think of an elephant? Look, you've been thinking about this all week. Let's do this. Right? You agree, and then you close. 7 a.m. is too early. I agree with you. 7 a.m. is early. 30 other people said the same exact thing. Let's roll. What's your email address so I can send you the Zoom link? Okay? I got to talk to my wife. I got to talk to my business partner. You have to have these objections all handled. I agree. I always talk to my wife when I make big decisions. Knowing how well you know your wife, if she were here right now, is there any information I could provide her that would help her make a decision? Well, yeah. Now you know that it's really his objection, right? If I train anything about objections, and I've learned this from all the greats, Grant Cardone, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, all these people, handle the objection as a complaint, not an objection. Until it's further validated as an objection, handle it as a complaint. Shrug of the shoulder. And for instance, the guy says, my shoulder hurts, and then goes to the gym and works out his shoulder. It's too expensive, and then pays for it anyway. How many times have you done this? A million, I can tell you that right now. You're like, complain about something. Oh, it's cold outside, and you walk outside anyway. It's just a complaint. Treat it as such. You know, if you're in the visitor orientation, the visitor says, oh, it's too expensive. I agree with you. It is too expensive. You got to agree first and then close. All right. I agree with you. It is too expensive. 30 other people in that room said exactly what you're saying right now. And that's exactly why you need to sign up right now so that next year you don't have to say this again. Would you like a 1-year membership or a 2-year membership? We're offering 5 too for $1,000 off. That's powerful. I'm telling you, you got to agree, create the agreement. In the confrontation between the stream and the rock, the stream always wins, not through strength, but through persistence. All right. Take full responsibility. If you don't like how things are, change it. You're not a tree. Take full responsibility in life. You hit the guy hits you from behind. You need to get out and apologize and say, I'm so sorry for hitting you. All right. You need to embrace this responsibility thing because everything's your fault. Everything happens because of you, not to you. That's how the universe works. All right. And the reason that's so important, not because it's actually true, because it might not be your fault, right? But because you have the opportunity to have control over it and change the outcome. All right. So if you have control over the visitor, if you think that you are taking responsibility of your visitor or a buyer, then you can change the outcome. But if you go and blame the buyer afterwards with that negativity with your team, your back, oh, that visitor, oh, that buyer, oh, I wish they did this, I wish they did that. Dude, you know what they're going to do. Have your handle and objections handbook so you know what they're going to say. There's the same 10 objections everybody gives. And have a response. Practice, drill, rehearse it so that you're ready for it every single time. Take full responsibility for everything that happens to you because it does happen to you because of you, not to you. Like Jim Rohn says, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Be sure to choose wisely. Commitment. Shoot for the moons. Even if you miss, you hit the stars. You gotta commit. The grass is always greener on the other side until you realize that that grass has to be watered, seeded, mowed, and taken care of either way. All right. Commit first, figure out the how later. It works. I promise you. You know the people who say, I under promise and then over deliver. Those are people who aren't sure of themselves. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna get real with you. You gotta over deliver and over promise and over commit. Because it forces you, if you over promise and over commit, it forces you to over deliver. If you under promise, you can under deliver and be okay with it. I'm not okay with freaking satisfied. I'm never satisfied. I'm just freaking to the wall, just busting doors down, ripping the doors off the house. I'm never satisfied. Commit. Those are people, there's people driving around the mall right now who can't even commit to a freaking parking spot. How are they going to commit to a relationship or a B&I membership? I mean, it's just crazy. Or a marriage. They're like, oh, which parking spot should I park in? You know, you've done it before. I've done it before, right? You got to commit to the parking spot. I'll pull into the first parking spot I see. I don't care if it's 10 miles from the door. I'm pulling in, baby. And people are like, why are you pulling in so far away? Because I'm committed. And they're like, what are you talking about, dude? You make no sense. I make freaking sense to me. You know what I mean? I'm practicing every day what I'm saying here so that I can remember what I'm saying here in this presentation. All right. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. I met my wife at a movie theater. All right. And she was with a boyfriend. If I didn't ask, the answer would have been no. I'm saying always, always, always ask. And when the answer is no, ask again. All right. Stay positive, work hard, make it happen. And let's do this. Anthony McWinney, call or text me anytime, 978-421-6033. I will provide any and all information. I have way more material than this, way more information than this. Set up a one-to-one, 978-421-6033. We'll be chatting with you soon. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Make it a great year. It's all up to you and only you. It's not up to the government. It's not up to the school system. It's not up to B&I. It's not up to your employees. It's not up to your family. It's not up to your community. It's up to you to be great. Choose greatness because nothing else pays. Talk to you later.